Let's try Xoli Zondo once more, and the South African under-20 men's national football team will be aiming to rewrite the history books tonight. Amajita will face Morocco in the final of the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations final in Cairo, Egypt. And this is a repeat of the 1997 AFCON final, where Morocco narrowly beat South Africa 1-0. And our reporter Xoli Zondo is monitoring this game in Sandton tonight in anticipation of that epic final. Xoli, good evening to you. You can tell us more about what is happening on your side as we anticipate that match that is set to kick off tonight.
Well, of course, the public viewing area here in Sandton is starting to fill up quite nicely with fans really anxiously waiting kickoff, which is going to be in about an hour and 10 minutes time. It is the final of the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Amajita, which is South Africa's under-20 national football team, will be taking on Morocco for, of course, that coveted trophy that they could be lifting this evening. Now, you will remember that 28 years ago, South Africa were in this exact position, taking on the same opponent, that is Morocco, in the final. And unfortunately, they lost 1-0. So this time around, it's about redemption. It's about making sure that they lift this trophy that has eluded them for really most of their history. And of course, right here in Sandton, I am now joined by the commercial and marketing manager at South African Football Association, that is Errol Madlala. Errol, thank you so much for making time for us. Really, the venue looking amazing. People have come out in numbers. Maybe let's just start with that in terms of you making sure that there is a public viewing area and people really can come through and celebrate this milestone of Amajita.
Thank you, Xoli, and good evening to you, the viewers. It's quite an exciting year for us. Starting at the beginning of the year with a draw. The under-17s, Amajimbos going to the World Cup. This cohort under 20s qualifying for the World Cup. So it was apt for us to also then expand the ability to engage with the media and the public. It's very rare, but I think it's such an occasion to have us in the final after so many years. Matthew Booth, in his cohort in 1997, they went on to represent us at the Malaysia World Cup, where your likes of the Pelenomvet, Stiger Fredericks, took on the likes of Thierry Henry and those kind of things. So ultimately, for these boys, the future is very bright, because when they go to Chile later this year, they're going to face what will be the future stars of football. We want to ensure then that they're also part of that. So we're quite excited about that.
No, absolutely. And just also the decision to make sure that South African Broadcasting Corporation, the SABC, is going to broadcast this final live. This final live is also just a huge milestone.
Can be the people's team if we don't work with the people's broadcaster. So we are joined at the hip. So everything we do, they are part of that. We're quite excited of that. We're quite excited that they're able to actually show millions of people in football tonight. Working with the media, inviting them, getting our stakeholders. We also want to thank our sponsor, Honor, who responded in they're quite excited about the youth, the Coco Bellon generation. I think we're quite excited they will make an announcement tonight, which will get everyone excited. But we are quite excited as SAFA. We're looking forward to this final. We want to win the trophy, but even if we don't win the trophy, the boys have qualified for the World Cup, which from a development perspective, it's a milestone, because we want to ensure that all of our teams, they will have experience by the time they get to Bafana. They've played 10 or more international games, so that we can then progress from there.
I really want us to also talk about the journey of Amajita, because they started off on that losing note to host Egypt, but the manner in which they were able to bounce back, when you look at the likes of Coach Raymond Mdaga and how he was able to then make sure that he rallies the team to get to this point. Quite a number of goal scorers also coming through, about 8 different ones, just to make sure to get to the stage, beating the likes of the DRC, the Nigeria. What is it about SAFA, particularly, in these these past couple of months, years, that has really made sure that youngsters in football are doing well on the continental stage?
There's a foundation laid by our technical director over a few years. So ultimately, it has been the journey. So if you speak to Coach Mdaga, he will tell you that this cohort has been together for a while, and I think is the progression from the tournaments at SAFA level into now going into the World Cup. So if you ask me, he will also always tell you that it's about the character. When I had an interview by Sean of the team, he spoke like he was still part of the team, because he's still part of the team. So you can understand how close this unit is. And for us, we're hoping tonight they show their guts, but also show that we can punch above our weights and take on the best in the continent, and finally ensure that we prepare for future World Cups. And we're quite excited about that.
And maybe just before I let you go, because now we will be thinking about the FIFA World Cup in Chile, September, October. How are we then going to make sure that the likes of Chandre, Mbegezeli Mbogazi, are a part of this team?
I think it's about managing the calendars, and I think we will be engaging CAF and FIFA around that. And we were quite excited about the opportunities. And I think they've been part of the journey. We want them to be part of that. But tonight we're hoping for a win, so that we can come back and welcome the boys as heroes. We're looking forward to that.
We definitely are looking forward to it. The final will be kicking off at 8 p.m. It will be broadcast live on SABC2. Thank you so much to Errol Madala, the commercial and marketing manager at SAFA. And of course, we are hoping that Amajita can lift this trophy that has eluded them in their history. It's now back to you, Mbali, in studio.
All right, thank you so much there. That is our reporter, Xoli Zondo, giving us an update in anticipation for that encounter. Of course, looking at rewriting history 28 years later.